But she has beaten Penko a lot, so if she can get through her first round, she has beaten Ostapenko twice. So that could be a really interesting matchup in that second round. Also got to watch out for Bolter. Hasn't had the greatest season, or the greatest sort of like 6 to,
Jelena Ostapenko is not just nervous right now, she's unraveling, and honestly, there's no softer way to say it. The draw has dropped at the lens open, and staring back at her in that second round slot is the one name she has been quietly dreading, the one storm she hoped would pass her by. Alex Eala, the rising Filipino force who has already made her world uncomfortable over the past season, is back again, and this time it doesn't feel routine, it feels personal, heavier, like something unfinished is about to resurface. Because this isn't just another match on paper, this is a rematch soaked in memory, tension, and everything left unsaid the last time they met, and for Ostapenko, it carries the weight of redemption, a chance to finally silence the noise in her head, to bury what's been haunting her. But if you've been watching closely, really watching, the warning signs are everywhere, in her recent form, in her reactions, in the way her composure seems to flicker under pressure, and none of it points to calm. Not even close. Before even diving into what Eala has done to her, you have to understand who Ostapenko is at her core, and more importantly, where her mind is right now, because that's where the real battle is.
It was politically
unfolding.
sanitized, defensive, and sterile. Remains dedicated to fair play, and their official press release read, the WTA indirectly from their business crisis management manual.
Can dismantle absolutely anyone, anywhere, without hesitation. Her shots explode off the racket, her presence is intense, and she walks onto court with a confidence that can shake opponents before the first rally even begins. That is Ostapenko at her peak, sharp, fearless, almost unstoppable. But there's another version too, one that tells a very different story, and lately, that version has been showing up far more often than she'd like. Her career has been shadowed by moments that raise serious doubts about how she handles pressure, frustration, and those critical turning points when matches start. She didn't give Ostapenko what she wanted, not even a flicker, and in that silence, something deeper was revealed, something raw, something telling, because it showed just how quickly Ostapenko begins to unravel when things stop going her way, how the control slips, how the tension builds, and how the cracks start to spread. This isn't the body language of a player who feels centered, who trusts her rhythm, who believes in her control over the moment. No, this is something else entirely. This is what it looks like when expectations start pressing too hard, when frustration turns inward, and when the weight becomes just a little too much to carry. And the truth is, this isn't new, it's a pattern, one that has followed Ostapenko like a shadow throughout her career, quietly repeating itself when the lights get brightest. But here's where everything shifts, where the story takes a turn you can't ignore, because while those fractures have been growing on one side, something completely different has been forming on the other. Alex Eala hasn't been loud about it, hasn't needed the spotlight to prove it, but piece by piece, match by match, she's been building something far more dangerous, a reputation for calm, for control, for a kind of mental strength that doesn't crack under pressure, and nowhere was that clearer than in her battle against Laura Siegemund, a player known not just for skill, but for getting inside minds. Siegemund doesn't just play tennis, she manipulates moments, stretches time, questions rhythm, and pushes every boundary she can find, turning matches into mental chess long before the final point is played, and more often than not, it works, it breaks players, it pulls them out of their game. But against Eala, nothing broke. From the opening game, the tactics were there, the disruptions, the pressure, the constant attempts to tilt the match into something uncomfortable, and for a moment, just a brief moment, it looked like it might be working, but then came tea. The match turned into something electric, something unpredictable, and in that opening set, with the pressure mounting and the score slipping away, she found herself on the edge, 4 points down, staring at a moment that would break most players, the kind of moment where doubt creeps in and everything starts to fall apart. But she didn't fall, she held, she fought, she stayed present, and somehow, she turned it, pushing the set into a tiebreak and taking it 7-6 in a surge of belief that changed everything. The second set carried that same intensity, that same back-and-forth tension, with Eala taking control early, building a lead that looked decisive, only for Ostapenko to claw her way back, refusing to fade, refusing to let it go, and that's where the difference became impossible to ignore, because while one was driven by urgency and emotion, the other stayed calm, clear, precise, finding her way through the storm once again, closing it out 7-6 and sending shockwaves through the entire WTA world. It wasn't just a win, it was a message, the kind that lingers, the kind that changes how players see each other. Maybe Ostapenko told herself it was a fluke, a one-time slip, something that wouldn't happen again. Maybe she convinced herself the conditions were off, the timing wrong, the moment unusual, that next time would be different. But then came Eastbourne in 2025, and that illusion didn't last long. She came in ready, focused, determined, even took the first set, and for a brief second, it looked like she had solved it, like she had finally found the answer, put the past behind her. But that feeling didn't hold, because Eala came back, steady as ever, took the next 2 sets, and closed the match with authority that left no room for doubt. 2 matches, 2 losses, and suddenly there were no excuses left, no gaps to point at, no conditions to blame, just a reality that was becoming harder to ignore. Eala had her number, and everyone could see it. And now here,